Reel 'em in.
Reel 'em in. We're beaming at you live from 50% HQ.
Beaming at you.
It's time for our review of Doctor Who Lux.
Hey.
Ba-ba-da-bum-ba-ba-bum.
Series 2, Episode 2.
That's it, baby. That's what today's episode is all about, reviewing Lux. Going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for everyone that tuned into our Robot Revolution review. So we were a little bit angry on that one.
Yeah, they'll let it slide.
Yeah, they'll let it slide. Because we're back to talk about Doctor Who Lux today, which the world loves. Do we love it? We'll find out. But if you don't follow us or subscribe already, make sure you do that. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 50Doctor and on TikTok at 50DoctorWho.
50% podcast.
So, Doctor Who Lux, Season 2, Episode 8. Season 2, Episode 2. The Doctor's quest to get Belinda home takes the TARDIS to Miami in 1952, where an abandoned cinema is hiding a terrifying secret. Can the Doctor uncover Lux's power?
Ooh.
Mysterious.
Can he do it, Aiden?
I mean...
that's the question of the hour.
Well, yeah, I guess, because we're both in the episode now.
Yeah, we have.
Obviously starring Ncuti and Varada back in the driver's seats again, which is awesome. Okay, so before the show you said you're not sure if I like it.
Yeah.
You're leaning one way that I might?
Okay, so I don't know how, like, no one knows how I feel, obviously. I didn't tweet or I couldn't help myself.
Connor's been on a Twitter rampage.
I know I should.
I love this episode, best episode of Doctor Who I've ever seen in my life.
I know I shouldn't have done it, but I just couldn't help myself. I feel like with you, this could go two ways. I think I'm gonna say that I think you enjoyed it. I don't know if you love it as much as me. I really hope I'm wrong though.
Well, I didn't go on a Twitter rampage, so I probably don't love it as much as you.
That is true.
I guess generally speaking, I really, 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 really like it. Yeah, I think, whoa. It's nice.
Thank God for that.
It's nice to be sat here talking Doctor Who again and not having a cry about it and being like, it's really good. And I think pacing wise, it was so on point. I love how it was really funny. As the pieces were coming together at the start of the episode and they're like investigating, I was thinking, wow, this is very Scooby-Doo. And then, of course, Belinda's line of, all right, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, honey, I'm Velma.
Yeah, I was like, that makes sense. It's very much what they were going for.
Yeah.
And I just really, really dug it. I had a lot of fun. I think, we'll get to it, but there is obviously a divisive part later in the episode.
Yeah.
That I still don't know how I sit with it. And I'm hoping that through this therapeutic chat, I can come to terms with where on my whiteboard I'm going to place this episode, because I have an inkling, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's going between two spots and I don't really know. So, Connor, you love this episode. I want you to try and convince me as to where you think this episode should go.
All right, I've seen it 3.5 times.
You're ridiculous. You're actually the most insane man on the planet.
3.5. All right, so I watched it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch that again.
Okay.
And I did.
Yep.
And then I watched it later on with my best mate. And then when I came home last night, as I was eating my oats at like 2 a.m.
Also ridiculous.
Well, I needed something to eat.
Okay.
I was like, fuck it.
Fuck it, let's have some
I'll
oats.
put it on again. I'll eat my oats. And I got halfway through again.
Right, and you napped.
I just fucking love this episode. I think, honestly, this might have taken my boom spot. So, I would say top 3, I'd say Lux, 73 yards, and then Wild Beyonder.
Hectic.
Dare I say it? I love 73 yards.
Yeah.
It might one day take it over.
You reckon?
I love it so much. Generally, I think this was the best use of the Disney budget.
I agree. I 100% agree with that.
This is this is like the first time I've been like, wow, I really feel like they just couldn't have done this without Disney. It took us a while to get there, but we did. I think the villain just worked the whole way.
Yep.
Mr. Ring-a-Ding. Alan Cumming was so great as the voice.
Absolutely amazing.
Really, really great. It's great to have like a really good villain again. I feel like. I think Ncuti and Varada were fantastic. I think their dynamic worked great for me. I loved the setting. I loved Miami, the cinema. I think the projectionist worked really well. I loved the opening. I'm just such a huge fan. The dialogue worked so much better for me this week.
Yeah, still a little clunky, I think. I think there was a couple lines in there.
What would you say didn't work for you?
A big one at the end was, basically everything in a lot of the stuff in the third act, like the stuff with the fans, I thought was super clunky.
Okay,
just very like people don't talk like that. This is just how you think Doctor Who fans talk. You know, where it's like, all of us really like Blink. We all love Blink.
On purpose, though? I think it was trying to be meta. But I think that's kind of
cringe if it's us. It's obviously meta. They fucking step out of the TV.
I know, but I think it's trying to be... I'm not trying to excuse, like, bad or cringe writing, but I think that it was trying to be like that.
I think even the stuff where it's like... Because it is true. Like, we all have friends through this amazing Doctor Who TV show, and I love that they reflected that. But it's like the dialogue there where it's like, we have each other. Right. It was a bit cringe.
I wouldn't say Blink either.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like it would have been more... Yeah. I feel like Doctor Who fans don't say Blink is the answer. That's like your standard Doctor Who take.
Die-hard fans wouldn't necessarily say Blink.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah. You kind of want like a City of Death or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that's beside the point. The big line that kind of frustrated me more was that the line at the end from Belinda where she's like, Doctor, the things that we said in there, even though we were stressed, let's get through this together. It was just very like kids show, wrapping up the story kind of line. But it's fine. We're talking about lines here. And I always think when we start talking about individual lines and getting a bit sniffy about lines that don't work, usually is an indicator that the episode itself is actually really fucking good. Yeah. If we're just breaking down specific lines, then that's just me being a bit picky. Generally speaking, I think it's a cracking episode.
Yeah, I think it's really special. I think this episode is always just going to hold a really big place in my heart. I really just it was love at first sight. I really did just fall for it.
Do you know who's going nuts in season 2?
Who?
Murray Gold.
Oh my god,
man's like, he did some really good stuff in season 1. Not a lot of stuff that like blew me away, but sometimes like 73 Yards, I love the eerie stuff he does there. There's good, and his themes have been good. But season 2, it's like you're just watching a normal scene and you're like, God, this is the best score I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Like he's just knocking it out of the park at the moment. I love it.
Even when it first like transitioned into the real room with all the changing of the film reels and stuff, like his score there was so good.
Yeah, when they see the people on the film reel and it's like dun 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 dun,
so
dun, and it's like building. It's elite.
Yeah, and even when they go into the cartoon, like he does his best at like a Scooby-Doo kind of score.
Yeah.
I think he adapted. What did you think of the old piece of the score? Because there's a quick note in the TARDIS at the beginning.
Yes, there is.
Which made my ears do this.
Which was like Amy's theme or something like that.
Yeah, Amy's theme, yeah.
Not sure about that one.
That was a bit out of the blue. I was like, what are we trying to say here?
Yeah.
It was Amy's thing about like, getting me home,
I do... and then I have mixed feelings. I have so many mixed feelings about this whole fan scene because there's an element of it being so meta. You're, I guess, like using a piece of score from a different era for Doctor Who fans.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of works in that meta way.
Yeah.
But then I also feel like Murray Gold had the last laugh because he used a piece called Sad Man with a Box for Doctor Who fans gushing over Doctor Who.
Yes.
I was like,
hey, what are you going to do about that, huh?
Yeah, so people I've seen online have taken this scene the wrong way and been like, Russell's bullying Doctor Who fans, which I don't think is the case. But I was like, that's Murray bullying Doctor Who fans. Not at all, but I just think it's funny.
No, it was very interesting episode. This episode almost like demands like fans to talk about it, you know.
It does. Which
it actually strikes a conversation, I think.
I think my biggest problem with this fan scene, we've got to go through the episode because if not, we're just going to sit here talking about this fan scene for 45 minutes.
I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
This fan scene, I think for me, the main problem is that it's just one. I mean, I don't love meta stuff in general. Okay. Like all the looks down the camera, I don't love. And then this really just felt for me like, we're going full meta. And it didn't work for me just because I don't love that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it also... I don't know. I feel like with Doctor Who at the moment, there's always a scene that's really cringe, or we go to an AI reveal, and every time that stuff happens, it pulls me out of the episode. I might be really liking it, but then something happens. I'm like, we did the cringe scene. And it's like, for me, it almost like intentionally pulled me out of the episode, which I was like...
No pun intended.
I was so into this episode, and then it like intentionally was like, by the way, you're watching a TV show.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And I did hear a few people say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost like intentionally made the plot go to a halt.
Yeah, yeah.
It just took you, literally, no pun intended, took you out of the episode.
And it's through that whole sequence that I could have done with a bit more Mr. Ring-a-Ding.
Right.
Like, I as much as I think he's a great villain, I do think he wasn't really that present for a little 10-minute portion of the episode there. And I think it would have been fun. Maybe he's taunting them throughout it. Maybe the Doctor Who fans follow them on the adventure or something. Because without it, it just becomes like a bit of a soppy, we're Doctor Who fans and we stick through this together. It'd be nice for them to be part of the plot a little more. And the meta stuff, I think as well, if it actually worked as like a threat, I'd enjoy it, because the whole sort of film reel thing didn't really work for me either, because again, it's like the music, just throwing music notes around. It doesn't really make sense.
It was almost, in many ways, like doing a copy and paste of Devil's Call.
Mate, this is Devil's Call, just make it a bit better. Is what it is.
It's like, because they did with last time they did with the music notes and stuff, and then now they're doing like the film and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like the script is maybe slightly asking a bit of my imagination to be like, so they're in the animated frame and they start pulling down the next frame. Yeah, but it doesn't really make sense because they're moving within the still frames, and then they're pulling down the frame. They go to then the white background place, I think, and then they come out the screen. Yeah, I think it's like, it just doesn't. It is this mythical stuff they're going for, where it's more fantasy than sci-fi. It's not. Yeah, it's not. It actually doesn't make sense. Yeah. I think the one part that does make sense, so they almost got it there, I think, is stopping the film to make it burn, like, because that does make sense. That's what happens. I would have rathered them not be in still frames the whole time, because if this is where it gets really confusing, is so if they're on little film things and they're rolling the whole time and then they have to stop it to make it burn, why are they forcing the frame to go down if they're already going through it that many frames? That's why I'm like, I don't know. It's just, I guess I don't like Doctor Who being fantasy, and that stuff was just asking a bit much of me.
Well, if it took you out of the episode, it took you out of the episode,
Yeah. And then all of a sudden we're in my bloody living room.
Right.
I was wondering how they were going to do that,
I
was like, am I going to be in this fucking episode right now?
I don't know. That's what was kind of magical about it. It was like, oh, what's going on here? You know? Yeah, should we go for the episode? I feel like there's a lot of things I want to touch on.
Yeah, because we shouldn't just get fixed on this one scene, because outside of this one scene, I frothed this episode. Yeah,
so
Cold open,
which I loved. I think we're instantly into it. Great villain.
It's exactly what we said. Mr. Ring-a-Ding coming out of the theater, but it's great.
So there for it.
Yeah.
Yep. I really fucked with the direction this week as well.
Well, I was about to say, we should say it is
Our Girl from Oz
by, and that's Anita Dobson is not the director. Amanda Brochi, who lovely lady from the eastern states of Australia.
Yes, does this week and next week.
Yes, so I thought she did awesome, and we should have said at the start. Also written by Russell T Davies, if you didn't guess.
Thank you, Russell. No animated sequence at the beginning.
Title sequence, no.
I instantly thought of you. I was like, oh,
so did I.
Aiden didn't get his title sequence, his animated title sequence.
I didn't. Instant F.
Not a lot of animation either.
No, another
I have to ask you about that.
No, it's fine.
When we get there.
Yeah.
And I love the opening TARDIS scene. This to me was like, it was old. It was like this episode took me back to, and this is just me personally, but it took me, I felt like I was watching like R2D1. Yeah. I was just having fun. Like, this is the most fun I've had with Doctor Who in like years. I mean, I love Boom 73 Yards Wild Beyond, but like they're very serious episodes. And I think this is the first time I've just like had fucking fun. Yeah. Like I had a blast. I was like,
I agree. It's sort of like
had a good time.
Because I sort of got that with Rogue, but this was sort of like just a slightly better story and production. I don't know. Rogue is fun, isn't it?
Rogue is fun.
Yeah. The story's a bit better here. The mystery is more present.
The mystery is more present. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they land in 1950.
Yep.
And there's a spooky cinema.
Ooh.
I love this setup.
Before we get to spooky cinema, in that TARDIS scene, it's great that they're using the TARDIS as like a bit of a chit chat area. I think we've all been wanting a bit more of that.
Tinkering of the TARDIS.
Yeah, throwing out things. I don't know if that's Belinda's theme. I'm yet to sort of figure out what Belinda's theme is yet. Right. Which I kind of like. It means Murray's not overdoing it.
Come on, Murray.
But so they sort of did what I was crying out for last week, which was a scene of Belinda talking about her mum plays the violin and her dad likes to sing but can't really sing, and they cut that really fun, fast-paced score out when she starts talking about that. It makes it really impactful. Again, I think we're telling it and not showing it. I'd love to see a little bit more, like just a flashback or something with them. But it definitely did sort of steer the ship in a better direction for me, and starting to sympathise with why we need to get her home.
Yeah.
Anyways, 1952 Miami.
Yes. So the setup is great. All the people that gone missing. The dynasty and I really liked. I think, again, the pacing was really good. I think it did the perfect amount of like showing at the beginning, Mr. Ring-a-Ding, and then it slows down for a little bit. And then when they go into the cinema, I think it like just picks up again. I did enjoy the dynasty quite a lot. The way that Shooty spoke about being like a black man and stuff and not being accepted in places, and but he he was like, he said something along the lines of like, but I rule the world that I live in. Like I am just myself, no matter where I am and how I'm accepted. I'm always me, and I always try to shine.
I shine,
and I love that.
Oh, amazing scene.
I think when Russell did touch on things like that this episode, he never got bogged down by it, and he addressed it, and he addressed it really well. And I think he can overdo it sometimes with these latest scripts, but here I think he did it like perfectly. Yeah,
good balance.
And a great balance. I love the cinema that's like playing movies to an empty house. Like that's spooky. It is very Scooby-Doo.
It's very Scooby-Doo.
Honey, I'm Velma.
All right, Fred. Yeah. All this opening stuff I loved as well. Murray's score here again. I guess we'll keep saying it throughout the whole episode. It's just fantastic. Like there's a really funny sequence. Okay, the direction when they are exploring the different. They're like, oh, someone must have died here. Why is it chained up? And Amanda is bringing in these like little handheld shots. Sometimes they're shooting through the windows and stuff. It just looks really nice and really cleverly done. And then we have the Doctor puts this little. Was it the Vindicator or something?
Yeah,
the machine he's made. He puts it back into the TARDIS. So I assume the next 3 episodes they're going to be bouncing off different time periods to try and get to where they want to go. You see him
carrying it in the trailer.
In other episodes,
the device. Yeah.
So that thing's coming back.
I love the connections to the episodes. I really like.
Yeah, it's got a real tie together, I think. And then there's like a really funny scene where she's like, "So that means we can go home now," and he's like. Like, so we can go into the TARDIS now. And his face, it is such a good face. It's a good face. It's a funny face.
No, it's brilliant. Yeah.
Anyways, really diner scene, amazing. And then they head into Scooby-Doo land.
I love the aesthetic. Did you see this, mate? Did you see, how they show like a teaser in Doctor Who Unleashed for next week?
Yeah.
Did you see the one for this week's episode?
It was literally just opening a door. Yeah. Which is sort of, I saw the teaser for next week's as well, and it's literally them approaching a door. And
I saw that as well. And I was like, what? These are like...
Common theme here, doors.
They're just like going to doors.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, a lot of doors.
It made me last seeing it this week. I'm like, oh, it's that clip I saw from Doctor Who Unleashed with them opening the door.
Yeah, which again is very Scooby-Doo, sneaking in the back door.
True.
And they go into the cinema and there's tap dancing around.
I'm Mr. Ring-a-Ding.
It is spooky when they're walking up the stairs and it's like... But it's spooky but also like funny at the same time. Yeah. I think it's funny because we know what's coming.
Yeah. And it looks so great.
Yeah, he looks amazing, doesn't he, Mr. Ring-a-Ding?
I'll keep saying it, but generally this is like the best use of the Disney budget. It's stunning. It's a stunning piece of like animation. I watched the Unleashed for it, and people worked so hard on it, and you can really tell it all came together so well.
Yeah. I was going to say, because I was planning on saying this anyways, but whilst you naturally brought it up, I think, is it Stefan Pal, the host of Unleashed? I was just going to say, I think he does an amazing job at running that show. Like, I think that's just flying under the radar at the moment. He just is so good. He's such a joy. We watched like 10 minutes of him doing sound design and Foley work.
That was funny he did that,
he's just a great host. And
it's really good they're doing that. And now it's on YouTube, which is great.
Super accessible, which is awesome.
What I would prefer. So it lets me watch it and stuff. Because I would have had to use like a VPN.
Yeah, and it's getting a bit dramatic now, fighting the BBC with VPN.
Exactly. So I think we give Russell a lot of shit, and granted in some places, but I think we definitely, I think he does, like the fact that like Unleashed is back and now it's on YouTube, and like, he is doing some cool things, I think, for the fans and stuff.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So Mr. Ring pops up. He's doing his little dancey dance, and then they run to the projectionist because the projectionist plays the clip.
Their own score.
And he gets frozen. Yeah, he's got his own score. And he gets like frozen and forced to do the dance that the projectionist does.
Yeah.
Why? I don't really know, but that's the law, I guess.
That is the laws of the gods.
The laws of the gods.
I am Lux.
Yeah, and so then they're talking to the projectionist, who I think has a great little backstory.
Yes, I agree. Sorry, but just quickly, what did you think of Harbinger?
We did get an anagram. Yeah, I did see that coming. Yeah.
You cheeky bot.
In our crystal ball predictions.
You got me, you little fucker.
In our crystal ball predictions for this episode, I said that there'd be a Harbinger thing.
Yeah. Anagram. Did you think it would be the titles at the top of the cinema?
I think I actually had predicted this like months ago.
Right.
I think I'd seen like a behind the scenes pic and was like, that's giving me a Harbinger thing, because it was when we were starting to get rumors of Lux being a god or something.
Yeah.
But no, when it did happen in the episode, I was still surprised. So that was cool. I do think this episode, I would have liked this to have been like just a random episode that I could show a mate that's not seen Doctor Who in a long time and be like, check this out.
That's fair.
But it is quite full of like the gods and lore stuff and then all the meta stuff at the end. It's like, if you're bringing in a new Doctor Who fan, they'll be like, what are you talking about, Blink?
Yeah.
Like, what are you on about?
Blink,
What is this episode from 2007?
I'm not a fan. Why do I care what these people think?
Yeah. Hey, maybe they're setting up 2007 episode for when they go back to 2007 in Lucky Day. Who knows?
Maybe.
So the projectionist has a great little backstory. Like his wife's dead and Lux can bring his wife back to life. And I thought they executed that. Amanda did a great job.
Transition to color.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. I thought they did a great job at that. And so they instantly set him up as a
and they
good
didn't
character.
overdo it or overcomplicate it. It was just a story and it was there. It wasn't overcomplicated. You understood it. You got it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's all I could really ask for.
Yeah,
I think.
100%.
Yeah. I like when he slides onto the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about giving away the ending in the second act, which is what gets brought up with the fans when they say it's obvious they gave away. They said that the film's gonna burn.
Well, I guess like
it's very flammable.
Annoyingly, I felt like I didn't even pick up on that line when I watched it. So when the fan brought it back up, I was like,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I was even the second time, like I didn't even know, I didn't even hear it.
So yeah, he just mentions about burning. It's like, you know how flammable those films are. Do you want me to burn the one with your wife? He's basically like, taunting him, Mr. Endings. Like, I can burn the reel that you're holding of your wife, and you lose that memory forever.
Right? Yeah. No, I didn't pick up on that. So when they brought that back later on, like I don't mind that was the ending, but I was kind of like, I hate Doctor Who fans watching this for the first time. We're not picking up on every single bloody line. Right. Well, I mean, like it was just written a little bit too much. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. What do you think? I feel like because I love it, I feel like I just love everything in this episode. I'm more just asking your opinion about it.
Yeah, sure.
But so what I know what you said with our predictions pod, you said that you would really like there to be more than just the one scene in the background with the cartoon and stuff.
Yeah,
we didn't get that.
More animated sequences. Yeah,
we didn't get that. So how are you sitting on that scene?
Oh, it's fine. Like it's something I would have liked, but I'm not going to judge the episode from what I wanted going into it. If you know what I mean. Like I don't think it needed more animated sequences because they play with them being trapped in film for a good 10-15 minutes of the episode.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the way that it was executed and it was fun. So Mr. Ring champs them in the film, and they become 2D characters. And I really thought that the jokes were great where he was like, I have a two-dimensional brain.
Yeah.
And then Belinda says something that gives her a bit of depth. And then she pops into depth.
Yeah.
And it's like this whole thing about giving these 2D characters depth.
Well, I love that. I mean, I love the mention of the Gallifreyan stuff. And it's like, it's great. And a line I love, by the way, it was... Mr. Ringding saying I'm a two-dimensional character. Did you really expect me to have a backstory?
I love that. I love that. Yeah, that was funny.
The jokes fucking landed for me this week. I was like, I love this episode.
Russell, a comedian, the god of comedy.
Like, this is fucking class. Like, I loved that.
Yeah,
that cartoon scene.
Yeah,
I loved it. Genuinely.
Yeah,
when they bounce into being like live action again, and they got the background still.
Yeah, it was great. And the score was like going off. It's great. And then they they go into like an episode of like a police procedural almost, where you have the NYPD rocking up. And immediately I was like, that costume's not right. But I just sort of just like waved it off.
Oh, it's Doctor Who, yeah.
It's Doctor Who.
It's Doctor Bloody Who.
No, this is the only police costume they had.
Yeah.
And I like that scene as well. Once again, it's bringing back the undertones of the scripts. They're dealing with those sort of issues. And so I thought that was a great way of showing it. Turns out they're still in the film reel. And so they then... What do they do? How do they get out of that?
He just pulls the reel down.
He just pulls it back down again? Yeah. Which again, I'm just like, what? I just... Because they're already moving.
He says a line. It's like your something is all off. He's like your continuity.
Yeah. Which is a good meta joke.
It's a very meta episode.
Yeah.
Very meta episode.
Yeah.
Doctor Who goes meta.
So meta, mate. What is this? Facebook and Instagram?
Yeah. So and then we have looks like we have to go through there.
And that shot, man, when they are walking through this white environment and they actually step out of the TV, is just like. So good. So I assume it must have been like 2 sets back to back, like a white room set, and then they step through into it. It's an awesome shot. Amanda slaps.
Like, at one point I was like, "Oh, they're gonna come out of my TV?"
Literally, I was like, "How are we gonna do this?" It's so cool. And the score, I cannot give Murray enough credit. It's so magical when they do step out.
Yeah, and look, how I stand on the fan scene. I think I think I like it more than you. I actually do. I kind of fuck with it, which is crazy because I hated this whole Doctor Who's in a TV show idea, and the whole fan thing was going to be, I think, interestingly handled to see how they did it and stuff. I think for me, it was the perfect amount of like cringe and meta. I would have preferred that they didn't, although I thought the scene in the end credits was funny, I would have preferred that they didn't come back, because I'm happy with the Doctor just thinking like, oh, that was just a thing that Mr. Ringington came up with. Like, I'm obviously not on a TV show, but it actually seems like he probably is, and that will be a thing that comes back later on. So that I can't really say I'm looking forward to. But I loved the Meep shirt and the K9 mug.
I cackled.
The second I saw the collection sets, I was like, "What? It's the collection set!"
Yeah,
like, that's so funny. Like,
I literally cackled when I saw like the Talos shirt, like these really neat references.
I love that. Yeah,
and I think this is my problem with the fan stuff. Is it? I guess there's ever so slightly too much of like this is what a Doctor Who fan looks like. All 3 of them in a room together wearing t-shirts, drinking out Doctor Who mugs with a Tom Baker scarf on, just holding a sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, I'm wearing a fez.
Like I'm not sat there watching Doctor Who with a sonic screwdriver in my hand.
You do drink out of a Dalek mug most of the time, so
I didn't today. I just had a normal coffee mug.
Come on.
But yeah, it was just like, I guess a little bit too tropey, I think, for me. But
I hate to say it, but I just think that's the point. I think it is just a bit OTT.
Yeah.
It's just trying to be super meta, which I'm not saying 100% works.
Yeah.
But I think it's trying to be a bit cringe. And I'm high-fiving Russell the whole time this week. Like,
no, that's fair.
It just all kind of works for me. I can let it all the shitty, like, kind of cringy lines kind of slide.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It borders on a little bit of cringe, that scene for me. That's fair. But the main problem for me, like I said, is the whole, I don't really understand the whole film reel lore of them going into these. It just doesn't really, it just suspends my disbelief a little bit too far, I think.
What I thought was very funny was, when the Doctor's like, what about the one with the goblins?
Yeah.
They're like, nah.
You don't like the fucking goblin one?
Yeah. Well, I met the Beatles. Yeah. I was standing on a landmine. Like, I thought that was really fun. And it seemed like Russell was like poking fun at his own work. It's like, he fucking knows no one's going to say that the Church on Ruby Road is their favorite episode.
Yeah,
like, of course not. Like, that shit made me laugh. What happens in Blink?
That was a good line though. Riveting.
Yeah. That scene is going to always be divisive, I think. That's going to be a Doctor Who scene we'll always talk about, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I'll always flip-flop, because I have flip-flopped the whole time watching this. Like, I really didn't like it the first time.
Really? And then the episode?
No, just that scene.
Just that scene.
And I struggled to get back into it from that.
Right.
And then I like slept on it, woke up this morning, was, no, we're all right. And then watched it again, and I, again, still am a little bit mixed on the scene, but yeah, then I got into the last act. Thankfully, I was able to sort of get back into the final act this time and not be still trying to figure out whether or not I liked that meta scene. And the last act, back in the theater, I liked a lot more.
What did you think of the bi-generation mention?
Shut up.
I still got a bit of energy left for my bi-generation.
Shut up.
I mean, it must have been like at least a year since that.
Oh, it's insane. It was like 6 months between the Space Babies and the Devil's Cord.
Right. Yeah, true.
Like,
Amy's still just rocking with some regeneration energy.
He's been holding on to it for this long.
Yeah.
Shut up. I understand the reason why he wanted to do it was to then show, like, plot-wise, so Mr. Ring-a-Ding would see it. I get it. But I was like,
But couldn't Mr. Ring-a-Ding just know that he was already a Time Lord?
Yeah.
Come on. He's beaming at you.
A big W for me this episode is
big W.
that comparing Mr. Ring-a-Ding with Maestro, with Maestro, I was like, why does Maestro want silence if they're the god of music? Like, if anything, wouldn't they want more sound? Like, why do they want silence?
Yeah.
Whereas Mr. Ring-a-Ding, the threat that he presents is that, like, he wants light. He wants to set off an atomic bomb. Like, he wants to get into the outside world because he wants that explosion of light. And that becomes a real character-based threat, which I think is great. And as we get into that in the last act, I'm like, damn, like that, it really works for me way more than the Devil's Cord does.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I actually kind of really hate the Devil's Cord, so this is like the complete opposite for me.
I don't hate the Devil's Cord, but I just have a lot of question marks.
I'm not a huge fan at all.
Yeah, fair. I think it's boring.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Anyways,
get them girls.
Get them girls. Yeah, all the film reels coming out, grabbing the dock, Devil's Cord, but make it not music.
Yeah, well,
it's essentially what's going on.
Exactly. There's a secret song hidden inside her.
There's a secret film reel hidden inside.
There's a secret film.
So Belinda runs up to the guy. Kind of looks like Hugh Grant from Heretic. And, And
she's what line I loved?
What's that?
It was like, I know you smoke. I've seen your fingers. That's nicotine.
It's like adding in the whole she is a nurse. Yeah.
I love that line. That just little lines like that just give her more character and stuff.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but he's like, he sees his wife again. He's like, nah, fuck this shit. I'm going to blow this crib up.
This was the BBC with the old Doctor Who reels. Just stuffing them all in a big pile and throwing a match on it.
Has someone made that on TikTok yet or Twitter or something?
Here's the thing. I saw George, our friend Ace Creeper, did the joke.
Yeah,
but I thought about it in my head. I'm like, but now no one will believe me that I thought about it. I think a lot of people, it's like one of those things like who gets there first.
Yeah.
And he got there before me.
Unlucky.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, very, very
Joke
good
stealer
scene.
George.
I like how they blow it up. All the daylight comes in, shines down onto Mr. Ring-a-Ding.
Do you like the 3D?
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. Don't know why he then became 2D when he got too big.
Oh my God, I love it.
I don't know why. Like, why did he become 2D?
Just a practical choice, I think.
I guess.
Just like to be...
Yeah, I think it looks better him being 2D doing it, but I just we made him 3D because he was getting more light, and then he went back to 2D because he got so much light.
He just liked it. He preferred it.
Yeah.
Personal choice.
Yeah,
personal preference.
I'm not here to tell what anyone should be looking like.
And the thing is, I like that he looked like Pennywise when he was in his 3D.
Oh, he was looking...
It was scary. I could see kids being terrified of that shit.
Yeah. I like how he went to early stage 3D first. Like you get him when he's just looking like a grid, and then he becomes like a modern day Pokemon, and then he becomes like actual modern day VFX stuff. And he grows so big. The first time I watched it, when he got really big and then came away from the earth, I was like, I'm not sure about this. And I'm still not 100% on that. I do think it just is a tiny bit daft.
I love it so much.
But it's also Doctor Who, and Doctor Who's a bit daft.
No, but it's so beautiful, Aiden.
Well, that's what I like.
He loves the light so much, but there's that line, it's like, Belinda's like, but Doctor, he'll just keep expanding. That's the point. Like, he expands.
And he becomes light everywhere. And that's the thing, when I watched the second time,
beautiful.
I was like, even though it's like a tad goofy, it's also really beautiful, and his little tears come out, and
it's like, I am everything.
And it's awesome because it's like,
goodbye.
We always debate Doctor Who episodes when they kill the villain, we literally had that last week, I think, didn't we?
He gave him what he wanted.
He turned him into a fucking sperm last week.
And an egg.
Polish. And then he gets fucking eaten up by Polish.
Yes, Queen!
Yeah, Queen.
Queen!
Whereas this time it's like, oh, like the villain kind of gets what they want, but everybody wins. Yeah. You know, like he gets mesmerized by light. And
I guess he is a god now, says Blinder.
He's everywhere.
It's beautiful. It's that. I loved it.
And the score's going off at the end. It's so good. And everyone comes out. It was like a bit of a everybody lives moment. It was so beautiful seeing everyone like hug and rejoice.
Tommy Lee.
It's crazy. I think the first time I watched that final scene, I thought it looked nice, but I could tell like, it felt like it was kind of lit a little bit weirdly. And then you watch the Unleashed. And it's like, oh, these guys did the best they could with this horrible weather that came in. They
had like a big they
had like a storm come through whilst they were trying to film it. And so like you can watch it and they've clearly tried to light it and color it as best as they can to make it feel like a nice summery.
Not so much Miami, Florida.
And then you're like, but you can see like the hair is like blowing like crazy. But I think they did a great job. It's not a critique on them. If anything, it's fucking kudos to them for making it, pull that off with the terrible conditions they had.
Limited run only.
Okay, let's fucking talk about this ending, mate. Because
Doctor Who fans are coming back because it's a TV show.
Well, you know, I was watching it going, oh, okay. So the scene of like them being like, we'll disappear. I was like, oh, is this Russell saying Doctor Who's going to get cancelled?
Yeah.
And then Mrs. Flood being like, you should watch this show. Limited run only. I was like, it's just a 2 season. It's just 2 seasons. Mrs. Flood's going to cancel Doctor Who.
All right. How are you sitting on the theory that this is all just a elaborate plan of not renewing Doctor Who for Series 3 because Mrs. Flood is actually going to cancel Doctor Who?
I mean, we say I hate meta, but I do think the coolest way to end the finale, if they do go down this meta thing of Doctor Who being cancelled or whatever, the coolest way to end the finale would then be to end it with Doctor Who will return in season 3 on Disney Plus or whatever, and we will be like pumping, and it will be like how cool and terrifying will it be to go into the finale with the plot being that Doctor Who's being cancelled and us not knowing whether or not this is going to be the last episode of Doctor Who, and then in the finale they solve Doctor Who being cancelled and reveal that Doctor Who has not been cancelled.
And not only that, it was Russell's plan the whole fucking time. I would be like, what the fuck?
I would love that. I don't know if it was Russell's plan the whole time. I think he would have rather be filming season 3 right now, but
who knows?
Who knows? Who the fuck knows?
That's the thing. It's like, it's like, was it planned or is it just a coincidence that the show is potentially facing cancellation, but also the plot for series 2 is that they're trying to cancel Mrs. Flood's trying to cancel Doctor Who, the TV show.
The fact,
and it's so meta and it's so real that you are facing the same problem that the Doctor's going to be facing that week, that his entire reality that is Doctor Who is going to be cancelled.
It's crazy.
That is insane. Like, you, the viewer, have never been more connected to the Doctor.
Yeah.
You're fighting for your TV show.
The fact that we're having this conversation and what I'm about to say just proves that we are literally those Doctor Who fans in this fucking episode.
That is true.
But as well, like, as soon as I saw that scene and then saw that theory online, I was like, shit. And I started thinking back to like how Russell's just said some weird stuff within the last couple of weeks where he was like, Doctor Who may get cancelled. But then he's like, Robin Hood, he may come back.
Oh my God.
At the press launch for season 2, I was like, why are you saying that, brother?
Yeah.
And if this is, I'm not saying it is, but if it is part of some elaborate marketing thing.
If it is, what an insane thing to do.
The most ridiculous
what an insane thing to
anyone has ever done in television.
Yeah. But I agree. That is actually true. Like, that is ridiculously insane. And
it's too ridiculous for me to believe right now. But if he comes out in Unleashed for the finale and he's like,
got you all.
I got you.
Yeah.
Even he set it up with the season 1 finale of Unleashed saying, please come back.
Oh my God.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's always been like, oh, will the show,
please come
will
back.
It come back? Will it come back?
I'm kind of here for it. It's got my. That can't be true.
It just can't be.
But also, I'm like, well,
is it?
It was just so insane.
It's like almost too much of a coincidence.
I know.
And coincidence.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that is so insane if that is true, but it's being meta.
It's so meta.
I guess it's being, and I guess like with the Doctor Who fans being there at the end, it's like, you know. They didn't go.
I almost thought when it panned to them, they were going to be like, wait a minute. And then like there was going to be like an announcer on the credits or something that would say like, and Doctor Who returns for season 3 in 20, and that was going to be their announcement.
Yeah,
I was waiting for that.
Oh my god!
Alas, we'll have to wait for the finale to get out.
For the finale, I think.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Anyways, it's time for the fan favorite time of the week. Where will Aiden place this? What am I saying? What am I trying to say?
This is just Aiden's opinion on where he puts the.
But it's part of the fun.
Where are you going to put Lux, Aiden? There's ass, kind of good, kind of shit. So good until you're not. Fun and flirty. Best of the best.
Aiden's whiteboard. Okay.
I think I have a feeling where you're going to put it.
Where do you think I'm going to put it?
Fun and flirty.
See, it is so hard because there's like part of me that wants to put it in fun and flirty. There's part of me that wants to put it in best of the best. And there's also a little part of me that was like almost a so good until you're not kind of situation. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, it is that scene towards the end that pulls me out of the episode a bit. But I'm not, because it needs to be at least in these top 2.
Where's it going, folks?
Can I put it on both? Because, fuck it. I'm doing it. Best of the best. It's going best of the best.
Do it.
Because the thing is, with all 4 that are currently in best of the best, we have Wild Blue Yonder, Boom, 73 Yards, and now Lux. I do think all 4 of these are still not the best of Doctor Who. Like I do, because it's not like Midnight and Blink where I'm like, I cannot floor those episodes. Right. Whereas all 4 of these, there is stuff in them that I do think is still not the best of the best. But they're fucking great episodes.
Well, it's for RTD too.
Exactly. That's true. Yeah. So it's the best of the best of this era.
Yeah, it's just the era, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It says it right there.
So best of the best, baby. There we are.
Fantastic. Well, who'd have thought we'd already in Series 2 be getting a best of the best on the board already? So there's that.
Well, it's like...
Which is good.
It's like, it's good to see the gang respond, We last week put the Robot Revolution in ass.
Oh, it's flipped.
So the team needed to respond this week. They got the job done. Yeah, good response from the team.
So, yeah, no, I'd be very interested, though, to hear a score though. Where are you sitting with a score?
I'm gonna give it.
You just gave it a best of the best. So
yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8. What are you gonna give it, mate?
Sack Russell T.
You want to sack Russell T Davies?
I am gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I
absolutely fucking love it. Like, genuinely, it might. It's definitely taken over Boom, which I thought I would never say. I absolutely love 73. Maybe wait till the end of the series for me to give you an update on if 73 Yards has been taken over by Lux. I don't think it will ever take over the Wild Blue Yonder. Just because that's such a unique episode. I mean, when do you get like 2 characters coming back on a TV show and have an episode that great? But yeah, no, I think this is why I'm watching. This is why I love Doctor Who. This is the Russell T Davies that I love, and it's the most fun I've had with Doctor Who in I can't even tell you how long, like years, like literally years. There are those episodes I just named that I obviously love, but like I said, I think they're quite intense and dark, and I love my intense dark Doctor Who,
which we might get next week.
Which we hopefully will get next week. But yeah, this was just so fun for me. The most fun I've had with Doctor Who. It felt fun to be a Doctor Who fan.
Yeah.
And I hope next week we continue to just knock it out of the park. And I've seen the sneaky peek when they're walking to a door.
Looks spooky.
And I'm like, oh, a door again,
And the trailer, like the way they do the trailer, it's like, boom, boom. It's giving like this. They know that this is a GOAT episode. Do you know what I mean?
I really fucking hope we get 2 Russell bangers in a row. Like genuinely, I really fucking do.
Yeah, so an 8 for me. I think if I wasn't still trying to get my head around all this meta stuff in the back end, then I reckon it could easily get a 9. It was on track for it. So yeah, but I'm happy with an 8. I think that's a good score to still 62 years into a series run to be whipping an 8 out. I think that's great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's great. All right, folks, we will be back on Monday. Oh no, Tuesday. Tuesday in the early hours of the morning in Australia. No, not the well.
It is the well.
No, but we're not talking about the well.
Oh, we're doing the Q&A.
Yeah, if you let me bloody talk, mate.
And then it's
the wow.
Wow.
Let me restart.
Go.
On Tuesday morning / Monday night, depending on where you are around the globe, we will be doing our mail time episode where we're getting
I've got mail.
Connor's just found the soundboard for the first time in like 5 years. Where we'll be going through your theories, your questions, and your reviews. So comment whatever you want down below, and we will possibly read it on the show on Monday. And then come back and see us on Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember when that shit's coming out. When we preview.
Wow.
Thank you. So yeah, get commenting down below. We'll answer your questions or read your theories. We love to hear them. We love you all. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you.
And Connor, it's time to sing the song. But maybe we sing it a bit different this week.
How?
It's a 50% podcast, a 50% podcast.
50,
We're doing Doctor Who. I can't do it.
50% review. Hey.
I tried to Mr. Ring-a-Ding-It, but I didn't get there.
What a fine and dandy day. Oh, happy Easter, by the way.
Happy Easter. It's Easter Sunday.
Easter.
Amen.
I'm always going to say that
Amen.
Lux is an Easter special.
Amen. Oh, you're adding it to the list of Easter specials? Mm-hmm. So we're now kind of got like one good, one mid, and one bad Easter special.
Is that all of them? Planet of the Dead, Sea Devils?
I'm sure there's been episodes out on Easter in the past.
11th Hour came out on Easter.
Did it?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Bye.
All right. See ya.
And this is the moment where we then start to step out of the screen into... We're now in your room.
Meta.
You're going to tell me that you like Blink, and that's the only episode you like.
Episode of the podcast?
Blink.
Wait, so you sit and you watch me and Aiden talk about Doctor Who?
Whoa. Yeah, I see you there. I see you, Jeremy. I see you.